Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. You know, when it comes to Laila Ali, you know, I'm fair, I'm firm, and I try to hear people out. I'm a thinking guy. I don't have to like you to listen to you, to try to get a better understanding of what I have in front of me. And I'll be honest with you. From all the time I spent, which unfortunately I did spend some time getting caught up with trying to understand this girl, Claressa Shields, over the last couple of months and having a conversation with her. I don't understand and will never understand why she has an issue with Laila Ali. It just doesn't make any sense. And to see that she's still out here disrespecting Laila Ali. Let me tell you this. You can't come out here and say, I like your dad, but I don't like you. People, how crazy does that sound? Now to that I say, in the most respectful way, hey yo, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid, because this is nothing that anybody can help Claressa with. She can reach out, come on over here, Hood Champion man is talking about me again. Yeah, I am, because you're talking about Laila Ali, man. Let me tell y'all this. Laila Ali was the golden ticket. And you could tell Laila Ali wanted to use her position to help Claressa. But what we're seeing now with Claressa Shields is what we were seeing years ago. When she hears something, right, she tends to she leans towards the negative. And then she starts to play on that and starts to scramble it like an egg. And she ends up frying her own brain. And then she's convinced that someone doesn't like her, disrespecting her. And then Claressa develops disdain and strong, I would even say hate for that person. Now, when it comes to Laila Ali, she didn't do anything. It's my opinion now. Some would disagree. I don't think she did anything. And I don't think in any way, shape, or form that Claressa thinks about her statement when she says stuff like, Muhammad Ali is the greatest, but then come out here and call Laila Ali names. If you disrespect Laila and the Ali last name that's attached to her, you're disrespecting Muhammad. Now, when you look at Laila Ali's post-boxing life, this is what Claressa could have had, and I don't think she will ever get it. Now, I'm not a pessimist. We don't know what the future holds. We're no soothsayers. But I can tell you right now, the direction she's going, I don't think she's going to have anything, remotely close to what Laila Ali has going on. Matter of fact, I'm not so sure Claressa, her boxing career is going to continue down a path to where she hopes it goes, where most of us felt it should have gone, because of her attitude and mentality in nefarious ways. I understand defending yourself 100%. But I also understand when you get to a certain position, you just let people make their noise and you just push. When you look at Laila Ali right now, what she's doing, a very clear example of attitude, discipline, emotional intelligence that she's used to quietly build a legacy that extends far beyond the ring. When Laila appeared on Dr. Oz, this just happened to pop up, and I was like, oh, damn. She on Dr. Oz, man, discussing her healthy home, clean eating, and food practices. Millions of people watched, listened, and they supported, not because she was Muhammad Ali's daughter, but because she presented herself as a composed, credible human being and very trustworthy. All examples that any and everybody can learn from, especially her number one detractor, Claressa Shields. That moment mattered because it showed how boxing royalty doesn't have to shout to be heard. Laila wasn't arguing her greatness. She wasn't attacking anyone. She wasn't defending herself. She was simply existing in a space that welcomed her because of how she carries herself. That's not an accident. That's the result of years of consistency in behavior. When I look at Laila Ali's life after boxing, right, I understand she has the last name. Like, no one can argue that. She's Muhammad Ali's daughter. But what she has more than anything else is the right attitude. Does the Ali name open doors? Did it open doors? Will it continue to open doors? Yes, but those doors can close. The Ali last name doesn't keep a door open. You gotta look, Hollywood, television, wellness brands, mainstream audiences, and corporate spaces are not sustained by pedigree alone. They are sustained by temperament. Laila has always understood when to speak and when silence speaks louder. She doesn't argue with critics. She doesn't chase validation. She won't jump out the bushes and come into your life and think that she's going to take over and run things and won't be asked questions and won't be walked down a path to where you can get her to answer all the questions that you have so you can have a better understanding. She ain't doing all that. She doesn't feel the need to respond to every challenge, and I'm the same way. She doesn't care, and I don't care, and I think most people should have that mentality. It's something called restraint. A lot of people don't have that, and Claressa Shields doesn't have that. And that restraint is exactly why people trust Laila Ali. How can you trust somebody who doesn't have restraint? Because that leads to trust. Trust is the true currency after boxing, not belts. Because Laila Ali, she didn't come on that show with belts. And this is where everyone has an opinion about Claressa Shields. No one's right, no one's wrong. Everyone just has an opinion. But Claressa Shields missed a massive opportunity. Because when she came on the show, I listened to her. People feel like, oh, you should have done this and that. Oh, you sold out. But I show restraint. And that's why people trust me, will continue to trust me, and that the channel will continue to grow. Because when you look at Claressa Shields, missed a big time opportunity because she chose to react emotionally, to be knee-jerkish, and to chase the Wu-Tang Cream dollar bill, y'all, and look for clicks. Everything she did was a go viral moment to get clicks because she thought that would somehow get her the fight with Laila Ali. And that massive opportunity that she had to just align herself with Laila will probably never present itself again in any way, shape, or form. Claressa had a chance to align herself with that boxing royalty in a way that could have expanded her influence beyond the ring permanently. Not as a subordinate, which is, Claressa may have felt that. But, you know, if you got someone who's a big sister and you little sis, you're kind of subordinate to them, right? But she could have expanded her influence beyond the ring, not as a subordinate, not as a replacement, but as a continuation of women's boxing excellence across generations. That kind of alignment doesn't come from forcing comparisons or demanding recognition. It comes from respect, patience, and emotional intelligence. Claressa didn't just miss that opportunity. She actively destroyed it and continues to do that. Now, when you hear Claressa talk about being a leader, inspiring young girls, I do believe she goes out here, and I know she's gone out there and worked with young ladies. I do believe there's some women, and when she talks, depending on what she talks about, they listen to her. But the impact that she could have had by continuing women's boxing excellence across the generations. She may be able to do a little bit, but it won't compare to what her potential was and what Laila Ali has done and continues to do. That stuff about respect, patience, and emotional intelligence, a lot of these people don't have it. They don't have respect. They don't have patience. They don't have emotional intelligence. They don't know how to let things play out. They just knee-jerkish, come out here, rah, rah, rah. And that's how they move. But that's how opportunities are destroyed. Now, instead of building a bridge, she burned it, man. Instead of positioning herself as the modern heir to women's boxing greatness, she positioned herself as combative, resentful, and hostile toward a figure who had done nothing to her. Laila Ali never disrespected Claressa Shields. She never insulted her. She never blocked her opportunities. She simply chose not to engage, and silence was interpreted as offense. That misinterpretation is where everything went wrong. Claressa's decision to insult, name-call, bully, and unfairly attack Laila Ali did more than create social media drama, which I have nothing to do with that bullshit. It closed doors she didn't even realize existed. There are rooms Claressa will never enter now, and not because she lacks greatness, but because her behavior made decision makers uncomfortable. How are you going to sit here, man, and want to bring someone like Claressa Shields in the room when you don't know how she's going to respond? If she's going to bite your head off. It doesn't matter how much you respect her accomplishments. It kind of makes you hesitant to work with somebody like that. And I'm going to underscore this, that corporate spaces avoid volatility. Media spaces avoid unpredictability. Legacy families protect their names fiercely. Once you show that you are willing to disrespect icons to elevate yourself, trust evaporates. The most damaging part of this whole situation is that Claressa the GOAT continues to frame the conflict as if Laila Ali did something to her. Laila Ali did not do anything to Claressa Shields that I've seen, that I've heard. I mean, at this point, the shit needs to stop. It's like when Claressa came over there to talk to me, I shut up and I listened. I said, let me see what she's going to say. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. I didn't want to make my chat uncomfortable. I said, let me not be like Claressa Shields. Let's see what she has to say. Now, the most damaging part of this whole thing, and I just can't understand it, and I'm trying to process and make sense of it. This thing about Laila Ali doing something to her, man, that framing is false. And I'm fair as hell. I've looked at a few videos, I've listened to things. Laila Ali, man, she's handled things, like she said, the Ali way. And the public sees it clearly. When one person refuses to engage and the other continues to escalate, the narrative becomes obvious. This isn't mutual conflict. It's one-sided resentment, and resentment is poison to growth. Every time Claressa brings up Laila Ali in a negative way, the whole damn internet goes crazy. The amount of text messages and stuff that I receive on a daily basis whenever Claressa does anything, but in particular with that Laila Ali, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Even on my social media platforms, the private messaging, what are you, DMs and all that people send me. I just sit there, man. I don't be on the internet like that. But like at night when I have some downtime, I'll go and I'll say, damn, I'm showing, like 50, 60 people DMing me stuff about all kind of stuff dealing with boxing and, the good, the bad, and ugly that come with the territory when you have a social media platform. But Claressa got to figure this out because you can't keep bringing up Laila Ali in a negative way when it's not justified. Because she's reinforcing the comparison that she claims to reject. Every insult keeps Laila relevant in the conversation while diminishing Claressa's own message. Instead of standing independently as the, quote, the self-proclaimed greatest woman of all time, Claressa keeps anchoring herself and her story to someone who's already moved on, like Laila's moved on. That is a losing strategy emotionally, professionally, historically. Now, some people who are Claressa Shields fans, look, I know the truth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Claressa's choices regarding Laila Ali have already plagued her, and they will continue to do so unless she changes course. Not because fans are cruel, not because the media is unfair, but because patterns matter. People see someone repeatedly deflect accountability and assign blame where none exists. Support erodes quietly, not loudly, just very, very quietly. The situation don't have the damn thing to do with jealousy, nothing to do with fear, nothing to do with competition. It has everything to do with self-awareness. Claressa had the chance to learn from someone who navigated fame, legacy, public scrutiny with grace. You know how hard it had to be for Laila Ali to come into boxing when she did with that last name and had to fast track her development and get in the ring and fight to make sure she won fights? People could sit there and want to say something about her opposition. The bottom line is, whoever they put in front of her, she did the business. Can't come and attack and insult Laila Ali and what she did, 24 fights, 21 knockouts. People do that shit to Terrence Crawford. How are you going to sit here and attack Terrence Crawford? How are you going to attack Floyd Mayweather? People disrespect Andre Ward. These fighters retire undefeated. You assume they didn't fight nobody. No. Maybe it had something to do with them, their hands, their talent, their skill set. So for Laila Ali, instead of observing and sitting back just observing and doing nothing, no, man, she observed, she learned. Now for Claressa Shields, instead of her observing and absorbing, she attacked. Once you attack legacy without cause, which is exactly what she did, legacy pushes back and the fans will push back too. But when the legacy pushes back, it's not through words, it's through exclusion. The boxing fans push back through words, and social media heats up. Laila Ali didn't need to respond to anyone or anything, man. Her life already answered for her. Television appearances, business ventures, wellness, credibility, and public respect are all responses. They say, I don't need to fight you to win. That lesson is the one Claressa has yet to fully learn. For the audience watching this, Laila Ali is just a very interesting person as well, man. And the lessons that she puts out, it extends beyond boxing. Because that attitude she has is something amazing. That smile she has is something amazing. That willingness to help people and mentor people is something amazing. And your attitude will take you places that talent alone never can. And your attitude can also block you from rooms your talent earned access to. That's a good title for a video right there. See, people don't cut you off because you're wrong. They cut you off because you're exhausting. So when you hear me out here trying to talk about Claressa Shields, man, I'm exhausted. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That shit every day, negative, every single day. It's like, yo, How much can you talk about this chick and go off about someone who doesn't care? Does not care. She don't care, man. That's why when you take a look at Laila Ali, like I was looking at her earlier today, and I was saying to myself, Laila Ali really has it together. She has got it together, man. Not because she's Muhammad Ali's daughter. Because she's responsible, she's accountable, man. She has discipline. Claressa's been cut off before because she's exhausting. A lot of people cut off because she's exhausting. Other people want to keep the conversations up because she gets clicks and shit. But yo, the chick's just exhausting, man. She's hostile. She won't take responsibility. She just doesn't care. Talking about Claressa, one of the greatest fighters who ever lived. I mean, we know that, but if you didn't, she gonna tell you every day. But that will never change, you know what I'm saying? But greatness does not grant immunity from consequences. Claressa Shields made her choices. She's dealing with consequences. That's how it goes for everybody. You choose to do something, be ready for the consequences. Respect is not demanded, it's maintained. You got to earn respect. And legacy is not just what you achieve, but how you treat those who came before you. So the situation is not about Laila Ali. Laila Ali is just fine. The whole thing really is about Claressa Shields deciding whether she wants to evolve or remain trapped in a cycle of justification and blame. The longer she frames herself as the victim of something that never happened, the further she drifts from the peace, respect, and post-boxing success that many of us felt someone with her accomplishments, would have deserved. That's why when you take a look at Laila Ali out here with Dr. Oz and talking about healthy hacks, I mean, you watch that and you say, what other boxer, male or female, could have been in this image on this thumbnail? And I'll be honest with you, there are not many. Claressa Shields for sure. Right now, probably ever, nah. I can't see her being on a Dr. Oz. But you just never know. But I think about Sean Porter, I can see him on a Dr. Oz. I don't know about talking about the things Laila Ali's talking about, but he seems to have that kind of personality. You know what I mean? Kind of outgoing, smiles, likes to laugh and talk. I can see Sean Porter being on there. Trying to imagine, I can even see Mike Tyson today being on there. Talking and joking, because Mike's come a long way. But the bottom line is, when it comes to the door that could have been open for Claressa, I'll say a lot of them slammed shut. But for those few doors that didn't slam shut, I feel that they've closed quietly. And I just think, when you have really, really quiet closures, those are the hardest to reopen. And Claressa Shields doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. She doesn't care. I'm telling you, that chick, she doesn't care, man. She don't care about what anyone thinks about her. She's going to do what she wants. And that's just, it is what it is. If you insult her, she want to get back at you. And she goes extreme. If you have a child, she don't care. You have a disability, she don't care. Your child have a disability, she don't care. Your dog blind in one eye, she don't care. She watch you got a picture of you cooking some food and look whack, she don't care. She doesn't care. If you say something to her, whether the intent was one thing, but it impacted her a different kind of way, she doesn't care. Claressa Shields wants to get back at you. And when you look at Laila Ali and what she's done, there ain't no comparison. You want to talk boxing, but I just don't think even boxing, outside of boxing, there's no comparison between Laila Ali and Claressa Shields. None. And it's not because I think Laila Ali is attractive and Claressa's unattractive. No, that shit is all corny. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm talking about what I always say, I'm going to continue to say. Attitude, which is everything. Man, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. In the breeze.